Good afternoon, peoples of YouTubes. This is a car that you haven't seen in a while on the channel. Purely, I fell out of love with all the issues that I've had with the oil cooler stuff, which has now been resolved. And with the last track day, which we couldn't make because of that issue, we've booked onto another one, which is on the 6th of November at Snetterton. Well, I say I've booked it, I didn't book it. My daughter has booked it, and she would like to take my car on the track because she's just got a Fiesta diesel. So I've just said, yeah, go for it. So I've just gone around the car, just make sure everything's hunky-dory, and I've found an issue, another oiling issue, which we're going to resolve today. Now, apparently it's quite a common thing. Let's grab my torch. Is the breather around the oil filter housing has decided to not let go, but it's passing a bit of oil and it's blowing all over the coolant line. So that's what we're going to change today, is the complete assembly. And I don't think it's too difficult to change. I think it's like 3 bolts at the bottom, 1 at the top, and then there's a dipstick bolt or something. So let me show you the part itself, and yeah, it'll probably give you more of an idea of what's going on, shall we say. Right, so this is the part in question, genuine Ford bit, part number if you want it. I've already opened this all up just to make sure it's there while the delivery guy was here. So there we go. So we've got the 3 mounting bolts at the bottom, 1 at the top. I think there's a dipstick one as well, which I believe goes in there. Now that's not threaded, so we're going to have to put a thread in that, which ain't no biggie. But you can see this is where it's all leaking from. That's 1 bolt, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, this is what it is basically. Now, there's various variants of this, and the most common is going to be, this one is an 8.5, so it's the last number that you want to be looking for, is a version 5. And they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The most common ones you'll find on the early cars is number 1. I haven't really seen any other ones other than a 1 and a 5. So I don't know whether they just jumped straight to the 5 or if there's variants in between, I don't know. But 5 is the latest one, that's the one that you want. And if you look at my one is actually an 8.5. So I think that the main thing is the actual valve on top is the thing that fails. But we've obviously got an oil leak around ours, so yes. Anyway, let's make a start on getting this together. I'm going to just take a few bits out of the way. I'm going to remove just this part of the air filter, get that out of the way, and the ECU holder we can then just pull over there. That will then give us more access around the area to see where we're going. I have got it on the ramp to access the bottom bolts. Now I don't know if that's actually necessary or not at this moment in time, whether you can get them to on top, so I can see them from here. But whether we can get to them or not is another matter. So I've just got on the ramp just so I can get underneath, but if not, then obviously you'll have to jack your car up and get underneath there. Right, enough waffling, let's get it on, let's get that out of the way, let's get that out of the way and get some light around this area, and then we can see what's going on. Right, now that ECU holder's out of the way, you can see a lot better now. So we've got an electrical connector here, we've got this little pipe here, we've got another little pipe here, one bolt here, there's 3 at the bottom, we've got one here for the dipstick, and there is another one just down here, look like it's for some kind of electrical connection bracket. So we'll undo that as well, get out of the way. So yeah, I'm going to start unplugging things. I'm not really sure where I'm going to put you, so I think I'm just going to, because the room is very restricted around here at the minute, so I'm just going to hopefully balance you somewhere you can see what I'm doing. Right, this bolt down here, this dipstick, is rounding off, which is a great start. So, yeah. Right, I'm going to undo this bolt here, and then try and tackle this one. I'm going to have to cut you off though, because me trying to get into here with you in the way is a bit difficult. So I'll come back to you when I've got it all apart, or a little bit closer to having it all apart anyway, and then yeah. Right, that's that bolt out of the way with for that dipstick tube, and once I got on there straight, give it a little tap and that cracked off, so that was good. I've got this one removed here as well. These two are 8mm heads and this one's a 10mm head, and I guess the other 3 at the bottom are 10mm as well. So what have we got around here? Yeah, I've got a Jubilee clip on here. It doesn't look very original, so we'll just whip that Jubilee clip off, and hopefully these pipes will come off, and then we can head downstairs and undo the other 3. Right, that's definitely not a genuine Ford part, so yeah, we'll get rid of that. We'll put a nice little Jubilee clip on there. So this pipe here just prized off the top there, as you can see, and that goes up to here, and then I've got this little elbow here that goes from this bit here from here to here. That's just a little elbow like that. Right, let's get underneath and get the other 3 bolts out. Right, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, all 10mm. Now I'm not too sure if this is gonna spew out with oil or not. A couple of posts and videos that I've seen previously said that it didn't, but obviously I'm not too sure if they've cracked the filter off and that's all drained back into the sump, or if they've left the oil filter as it is. So I think if I haven't cracked the filter off, then there'll still be oil in there, so it won't drain back, if that makes sense. But anyway, we'll soon find out. We'll get a little tub underneath here. Again, space is limited, but you can see 1, 2, 3 bolts, and then hopefully we can pull that out from the top. So bear with me, I'll get them undone, and then we'll come back to you and bed to pull it out. Right, as suspected, that did leak a little bit of oil, so all the videos that I watched, they've obviously taken the oil filter cap off to drain the oil back into the sump. So, right, what we need to do, we clean up that bit there, clean up around there, and then obviously all this oil around here. Right, I've got it all cleaned up now. All I use is a bit of red Scotch-Brite with a little bit of WD-40 on it, and just clean around all the surfaces and stuff like that. Cleaned off the oil. So now just a case of putting it all back in. So we'll lower the oil filter housing in place, 3 bolts at the bottom, 1 bolt at the top, and then I think I'll replace the bolts for the wiring and for the dipstick, and with stainless ones which I've got. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap out the holes for the oil filter housing first. So let me do that and then we'll get it in place. Right, 1, 2, all tapped out. I've got some nice little stainless bolts to go in there. And then we'll just chuck a little tiny bit of grease on there just to stop the similar metals corroding together, because I think that's why that was tight. But anyway, let's get that back on there, and then we can go for the start and see if it leaks oil everywhere. So without further ado, 3, 2, 1, back in the room. Anyway, that's all on now. So I've got the 4 bolts at the bottom, the bolt at the top there, all the pipes in, nice new Jubilee clip, a couple of stainless bolts holding the dipstick tube, and the wiring, I think it's for the knock sensor, that wiring clip for. So yeah, I couldn't find any information on torque settings, so I then went on to what I'd normally use for MG Rover stuff, you know, steel bolt going into an aluminium block, and that's normally about 25 newton meters. That just felt a little bit too tight, so I dialed it down to about 22 newton meters, and that just felt nice, if you know what I mean. Obviously there's a O-ring that crushes into it, so normally 25 newton meters would be like a metal face onto a metal face block, if that makes at all sense whatsoever. But anyway, that's on. Literally just gonna put this in, put my air filter back on, and then we'll go for first start and see if it pisses oil out everywhere. Shouldn't do, but you never know. Right, come back to you in a second. Right, that's all together now. Ever since I've done these oil cooler lines, I've never been happy with the fitment of this filter. As you can see, the oil cooler lines run underneath there and then tuck all the way around here onto the oil cooler. But again, AirTech don't give you no instructions of how to route these oil cooler lines. I don't know if they should go underneath and then up, or if they go up and then around the top. But this is the way I've routed them. I can easily keep an eye on them then, and they ain't going to get caught on anything underneath on the road. So that is that. I might revisit this another day, because obviously the cold air feeder is being locked up with this coolant hose and the oil cooler lines. So yeah, it's obviously still got plenty of airflow come through, but it's just not ideal, is it really? And this filter's now rubbing up against the slam panel, and because I can't get low enough because the oil cooler line's in the way. Anyway, that's a problem for another day. Right, that's all together, that's all together, that's all together. Let's get in and start it up and see if we've got any leaks or not. Obviously the oil filter housing is going to need to fill up with oil, so oil light straight out, which is good. Plenty of oil pressure, so we better go and check. Make sure there's no leaks. Can't see any leaks out of there. Can't see any leaks out of there, so that all looks like that's all good. That's just the aircon pump clicking in and out. Yeah, so that all looks relatively good. Right, let's take a little road test and see when we come back if it's sorted. And again, if there's check for any leaks. Alright, all road tested. As you can probably hear, it's a little bit hot. Yeah, so I can't see any leaks from up top here. We'll just have a quick look underneath. Just make sure that's all nice and clear. And that all looks nice and dry to me as well. So there's a lot of water on the road, so there's probably a couple of little drips. But that is just rainwater off the road. But the main thing is what we're off after is that there's no oil leaking out the engine. Right, I think that will conclude our work for today on the Focus ST. My daughter's obviously going for a track day in less than a week. I might put some clips up of that in a different video. All depends if I take the camera or not. But yeah, it's her first ever track day. She's only 19, so I'm not expecting too much, and I think it's going to be raining as well. So it's not going to be anything spectacular, because obviously got the 9K and it's 2 hours with a fully weighted Focus as well. So it's going to be heavy, it's going to be slippery, so there ain't going to be much in the form of performance out of this thing. I'll probably be on the traction control most of the day. So anyway, that'll do for today's video. I'm going to get this edited, I'm going to get it out to you hopefully tonight, if it's not tomorrow, so it'll be midweek video. Yeah, so we'll see you in the next one, whatever that will be.